One of the most exciting hunts that we look forward to each year is South Texas, Panther Hollow Whitetails, and our good friend, Joe Matkin.
Yeah, I'm shooting him. That's him.
McWhorter Custom Rifles presents
On today's show, folks, Blondie and I are headed back to South Texas to hunt with our good friend and customer, Joe Matkin of Panther Hollow Whitetails. This is our 4th year in a row. Usually we go down there on a rut hunt in December. This year, Joe's got some big ones patterned early. We're gonna try to get in there and catch some of these pre-rut whitetails. 6.5 PRC, Blondie's taking her 7-rim mag. You don't wanna miss this.
Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Macmillan Fiberglass Stocks, Swarovski Optique, and Barber Creek Shooting Academy.
The brush country of South Texas, but it's home to some of the biggest bucks in North America, so it's no wonder that thousands of serious whitetail hunters come here each and every year in search of a true monster. Well, we left last night about 6 o'clock from Colorado after our elk hunt, and we're headed to South Texas to meet our good buddy and rifle customer Joe Matkin with Panther Hollow Whitetails. Joe's been sending me big trail cameras all summer long, and it's going to be a little something different for us this year. We're going down here, it's early season, and we usually come down here in December during the rut, but got a cool weather for a couple days, so we're looking forward to getting in a deer stand tomorrow morning. Oh, Mr. Joe.
Hi, Allan. How are you?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you again. I swear, I've been looking forward to this all year. We're coming a lot earlier this year than we usually do, but you know, usually we come during the rut in December. But you said coming early, they might be a little more patternable, and so I'm anxious to try this. Have you found Big Heavy?
Well, we've been seeing him some.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put y'all in some places where I think he's gonna be. So hopefully we'll find him again.
Man, you sent me pictures all summer and a whole bunch of really good bucks that you found here, and he's the one I'd love to kill, but some of them other ones better not walk out before he does. So.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky. I hope so.
Let me get my stuff and come on in and get out of this sweatshirt. Breaking out the McWhorters and sending a few down range was the absolute perfect way to get us ready for the first morning's hunt. For this trip, we're shooting one of our new calibers, which is 6.5 PRC. We really like it. It's somewhat of a short magnum. It's 58 grains of powder is what we're shooting behind a 135 Burger Classic. It's going about 3260. Very efficient cartridge, very lethal cartridge. This gun's built on a board and action with a 26-inch number 5 Brux fluted barrel, our 3-port muzzle brake. It's got our Macmillan Apex LR stock made for us exclusively by Macmillan. It's got a Trigger Tech trigger about 1.5 pounds, and this one's wearing a Swarovski X5i 3.5 to 18 by 50 with a BRX reticle in it, and it's in Hawkins 25 MOA ring. So pretty deadly rig, about a 1/4-inch gun, and let's see what she does. Put the sport ears on. We're good to go. That's right where we left it in Georgia, about 1.2 inches high. Be perfect, dead on at 200, so them whitetails are in trouble. Well, Denise is getting ready to shoot her 7 mag. She killed a whole bunch of stuff with it last year, and I didn't feel like building a new gun this year. This one's got some good luck, and anyway, this one's built on a Borden titanium action. It's got a Brooks number 4, 26 inches, 3-port side muzzle brake. It's got our Apex Hunter 2 edge stock, made for us exclusively by Macmillan. Got a Trigger Tech trigger in there at 1.5 pounds. And this one's got also Hawkins 25 MOA rings on it, and a Swarovski X5i 3.5 to 18 by 50 with a BRX reticle. So, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
You think you can hit something this year?
I sure hope so.
All right, well, I'm gonna get over here out of the way.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's ready. Let's go get one. The brush country of South Texas is home to some of the most intensely managed whitetail properties in the world. The hunt started the next morning, and Allan and I couldn't wait to see some Panther Hollow Whitetails.
This segment of Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by Revolution Safe Company, inspired by Pendleton, rotating gun management made simple.
Day one, and we're hoping for some first day luck. Well, it's about 30 minutes before daylight. We're headed to the blind this morning. We looked at trail camera pictures all last night, and this buck that we're after, he's been showing up pretty regular, so maybe we'll get him this morning. It's a little bit of a cool front, about 60, 64 degrees this morning, and it's early season in South Texas. This is new for us. We're usually down here in December during the rut. This isn't the rut, so we're having to pattern these deer, and hopefully we can find this buck we're after this morning. Well, we're all situated, which is kind of a chore with a cameraman and a small tripod, but we got in here a little early this morning. It's overcast and cloudy. And with the Swarovskis, I already can see some big promising blobs out here in this long sendero, so hopefully our target buck's out there, and when it gets daylight, we'll be able to let this McQuarter eat.
Well, this is my favorite time of day to hunt, but I absolutely love sitting out here in the mornings and watching and listening to the world wake up.
As the sun finally came up, I could see a huge buck in the sendero. That's him right there. That's our buck. That's him. I know that's him. Swarovski say 251. Let's see how many minutes I got to hold right here. Get it correct. Two clicks. All right. Two clicks, we got him. What a giant buck. Oh, up here. Opening day success. Doesn't happen for me very often, but I like it. Well, our South Texas hunt's over. Every year Joe will send me trail cameras, and he had a whole bunch of really big deer, but this is a buck I really wanted to try to kill, and I could see through the Swarovskis just the shadows and all, and I said, man, that's a real heavy deer. And he was out there with a couple does and another young buck and some more deer at the top of the sendero. When they're in these senderos like this, we had to let the other deer clear a little bit, and he finally gave me a broadside shot at 257 yards. So that's when the McWhorter 6.5 PRC came into play, and that's a new caliber for us this year. It shoots a 135 grain burger, about 3260, and just a very efficient cartridge. 58 grains of powder is all it is. Just a monster. Got everything. I mean, a bunch of character, basic 5x5, huge long beams, super mass, and just long tines, just everything you could want and ask for in a South Texas deer. Joe's just got a magnificent ranch here with some giant whitetails. I mean, he's got some non-typical deer every year. He's got some big typicals every year. He's just an amazing place to hunt.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Extreme Wildlife Adventures, Hoff Power Auto and Outdoor Stores, Surge Pro by Biofact Crop Care, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Hey, James with another downrange shooting tip. We're going to talk about putting in your sight height in a ballistic program. There's a lot that goes into building a ballistic profile, but this is just one segment, so let's talk about it. First thing we want to do is open up our program. I like Applied Ballistics. It's what we use for the Sig Kilo 2400, and we use it on our cell phone. It's a great program written by Brian Litz. Everybody always asks me, how do you get your sight height? Don't guess, all right? If you're a 1/2 inch off to a 3/4 inch off on your sight height, it's going to change your angles, and the further you get out, it's going to compound it and it's going to change your dial ups. So we want to make sure that we're getting it as accurate as possible. Do you have to be down to the 10th or the 32nd of an inch? No. But again, garbage in, garbage out. Put the best information into a ballistic program you can, and you're going to get the best dial ups. Grab a set of calibers, and I like to measure basically from where the scope rings cut the scope in half to where the stock cuts the barrel in half, and I got 1.86 on my measurement. I'm going to go into my ballistic program, and I'm going to go ahead and set it up at 1.86. So right now it's at 1.9, kind of a default, 1.86, and then I hit done. So now when I go ahead and run my ballistic program, so I'll go ahead and run it now, and let's say I'm shooting 1,000 yards, it says I need 24.25 minutes. Now let me back out and I'll make a mistake on purpose. Let's go back in here and let's change our sight height to 2.5 inches because we didn't measure it, we did a guess, or somebody told us that's what it was. And then I go to 1,000 yards and it's saying 23.75 minutes, different dial ups. And you can see where that makes a difference. So understand, put in the best information you can into a ballistic program, and it's going to give you the best data out. Hey, it's another downrange shooting tip from James at Barber Creek. Thanks for joining us.
With Allan's tag field and a fabulous lunch back at the lodge, it was my turn.
Well, I'm in blind number 5 out here at Panther Hollow. The weather's not particularly pleasant because it's hotter than blue blazes, but the moon is perfect. We waited a little later in the afternoon to get in the blind. We were still covered up with deer when we got here. I got my trusty 7 mag that I dropped a bunch of animals with last year, hoping to keep that track record going with a South Texas giant.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Borton Accuracy, Trigger Tech, Brooks Barrels, Capstone Precision Group, Hawkins Precision, and Revolution Safe Company. This segment of Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
Well, Joe, it's good to be back out here again. This is the 4th year in a row, and man, from the trail camera pictures you've been sending me this summer, you like these deer even better than they have been. Even in a dry year, how do you consistently get these deer this big out here? I mean, you got the biggest deer in South Texas. How do you do it?
Well, I don't know about the biggest deer in South Texas, Allan, but and it has been really dry this year. We hadn't had any real measurable rainfall since the middle part of June here.
Yeah.
And here we sit in latter part of October, so it's been unusually dry and it's been a hard year. But if I had to point my finger at one thing, that probably the single most advantage that we have here is that we just have an abundance of water, you know, and I've got irrigated food plots, so even when conditions are bad, I can make these deer something nutritious to eat year round.
Right.
Costs a little more money in a dry year, but I think the end product's worth it. And you're right, we do have some really good deer this year.
Your culling program, I mean, that's got a lot to do with it too.
Yeah, we try to get the deer that we don't feel like are going to be, you know, multi-tine, typical kind of deer. We try to recognize those deer as young as we possibly can and get them out of the herd quick.
Everything you're doing sure works. And
well, we appreciate it.
Hope you don't ever get mad at me and Denise. Don't let us come down.
I wouldn't worry about that if I was you.
Well, I'm in blind number 5 out here at Panther Hollow. The weather's not particularly pleasant because it's hotter than blue blazes, but the moon is perfect. We waited a little later in the afternoon to get in the blind. We were still covered up with deer when we got here. I got my trusty 7 mag that I dropped a bunch of animals with last year, hoping to keep that track record going with a South Texas giant.
As the shadows got longer, the senderos started filling up with deer. From out of nowhere, out walked a huge buck, and he was close, really close.
This is a big buck, big buck. He is right here, right here. Don't move. Holy moly. He's wide. Oh my God, where did he come from?
He walked right out from behind us.
I had actually relaxed for a little bit. Oh my gosh.
Wow. What a monster.
First buck of the season.
Give me 5.
Once again, the McQuarter had done its job, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on this South Texas monster. Well, this is a great way to start off my deer season in 2019. What a giant monster.
He's beautiful.
Tell you what, Joe Matkin, Panther Hollow, never disappoints.
He sent us pictures all summer long of a couple bucks, and this one was one of the most impressive bucks. And we'd never been here in early season like this. We usually come in December during the ruts, but we're expecting him to come out from this big long sendero on these big thick senderos here. And he walked past us. So I said, "That's the buck." And Denise made a great shot, and but I like to hunt with Denise, and we like to watch deer together, and we made a good decision on this one, though, didn't we?
We did. Somebody besides me chose this stand today.
So who's that?
That would be you.
That would be me.
That would
the
be
scientific method, the old
Yeah.
coin flip.
All kidding aside, it really is special to be able to spend the time in the stand with you and watching these gorgeous deer and the thrill of the hunt, these majestic animals.
And making a good shot.
Making a good shot, wonderful equipment. I don't know who makes these rifles, but they do an excellent job, excellent job.
Yeah,
I'm set up for success, period. I've got the best hunting rifle in the world, built by the best rifle maker in the world, and we have the best optics on top of them, and we're shooting the best bullets and hunting some awesome, awesome places out here. And like I said, set up for success.